Welcome to my channel Crazy to Learn. Today we will discuss physics questions from previous CST or High School Contractual Recruitment exam. If you till now did not watch its first part, then go to my description, link is given to you, you can watch. Today we will start its second part. We will go for the remaining question. Okay, let's start. Question is given to you: if the change in the value of small g at a height h above the surface of earth is same as at a depth x below it, then both x and h are much smaller than the radius of the earth, then what is the relation between x and h? So you should have to know the formula. But what is the formula? The value of g at height h from the earth's surface. What is the formula? You should have to know it, otherwise you cannot solve this question. The value of small g at a height h from earth's surface, and what is the condition is given to you? H are much smaller than the radius. So if h is normal, then formula will be different, and h is very smaller than the radius of it, then the formula will be different. So this condition is maintained here. So when the height is very much smaller h compared to the radius of the earth, then the value of small g at a height h from the earth's surface is small g dash is equal to h 1 minus 2h by r. This is the formula. Then similar way we will go for the depth. What is the value of g at a depth? Depth is taken here x. Okay, so at a depth x from earth's surface, and what is the condition is given to you? X is also very smaller than radius. So what is the value of g dash? That means value of g respect to acceleration due to gravity. What is the formula? The value of g dash is, this is for height and this is for depth. Okay, this is the for height, at a height from the earth's surface. This is the value of g at a depth x is equal to g into 1 minus h by r. You should have to remember these two formula, otherwise you cannot solve this problem. Okay, so from these two formula what you are getting now is the value of small g decreases with increase of altitude or increase of height. Okay, when we go to the higher altitude, the value of g decreases. As we go more higher, then the value of g decreases. Similarly, when we go to the depth, when you go to the depth, the value of small g also decreases. When you go more deeper, the value g is more smaller, and at the center of the earth, the value of g is equal to 0. Remember, at center of earth, g is equal to 0. This type of question also come in your exam, so just remember this thing. Okay, at center of earth, g is equal to 0. So now come to our question. The value of g at height we got here, g into 1 minus 2h by r, where small g is the acceleration due to gravity. Normal acceleration due to gravity और जो हम लेते हैं 9.8 मीटर पर सेकंड स्क्वायर, and gh dash is the value of g at the depth x from the earth's surface is equal to small g into 1 minus h by r. And it is given to you is same. The value of g at height h above the surface of the earth is same as that of the depth below x. So these two values are same. Condition is given to you according to the question. According to the question, gh dash is equal to gx dash. So just equate these two things. What the relation you will get? G into 1 minus 2h by r is equal to g into 1 minus h by r. Cancel g from the both the side. Okay. What will you get? 1 minus 2h by r is equal to depth is taken here x, so we will take it as x. Okay. Otherwise you will confused. Okay. H or x, height. When we will go to the height, then we will take x. H is distance and x is also distance. Okay. For height I am taking here h, and for the depth I am taking here x, so that you will not confuse. How much distance we will go to the depth inside, we will take it as x. How much height we will take? We will take it as h. Okay. H is maintained here. Depth is x and height is h. For confusion, I am distinguished like this. 1 minus 2hr is equal to 1 minus x by r. Okay. So when we will take this factor to the right hand side and this one to the left hand side, what will you get? Now x by r plus, sorry, you will move minus x by r to left hand side and this one to right side. What will you get? X minus 2h by r. I am moving this minus x by r to the left hand side. As it is negative, when you will draw to the left hand side, it will be positive. So x by r minus 2h by r, and this one is positive. When I will move this one from left side to the right side, it will be negative. So 1 minus 1. So what the value we are getting here? What the value we are getting here is equal to 0. X by r minus 2h by r is equal to 0. If we will take LCM, we will get x minus 2h by r is equal to 0. Then if you take r to the right hand side, 0 into r 0, so x minus 2h is equal to 0. So what is the value of x? If you now take 2h to the right hand side, as it is minus, when you move to the right hand side, it will be positive. So x is equal to 2h. So what is the relation between the depth and the height? The relation between the depth and the height is x. Okay. So that means if we will move 1 kilometer to the depth, what the g value will change? When you move 2 kilometer, if you will move height 1 kilometer, what the value, small g value we will get? When you move downward depth 2 kilometer, the same value of g you will get. So when the h is 1 kilometer, if height is 1 kilometer, then depth is equal to 2 into 1 is equal to 2 kilometer. That means when you will move a height of 1 kilometer, at a height of 1 kilometer, what the small g value we will get, and when you will move to the depth 2 kilometer, then the same g value we will get. Okay, clear? What is the relation? You clear? X is equal to minus 2h. That means what is the meaning of it? You will put in the place of h 1, what the value of x you will get? 2. If h is 1 kilometer, that means when you will move 1 kilometer height from the surface of the earth, what the small g value we will get? When you will move depth 2 kilometer deeper, at that place, what the g value we will get? Both the g value, that means the g value at a height of 1 kilometer and the g value at a depth of 2 kilometer, both are same. Clear? So which one is the correct answer? X is equal to 2x is the correct answer. All are clear? Our next question is the tension on the strings when the lift of mass 100 kg is accelerating upwards with an acceleration of 2 meter per second square is. I discussed this type of question in my previous videos. You can get the description link. Okay, and you go and watch different type of problems I discussed. It is a easy question. So what is the formula for the tension when the lift moving upward? I discussed the tension when the lift accelerating upward, the tension is equal to mg plus ma. Okay, then if you take ms common, what will you get? G plus a. And what is given to you? The mass is given to you 100 kg. Acceleration is given to you 2 meter per second square. And they know the acceleration due to gravity of Earth. What is the value? 9.8 meter per second square. Okay. Put all these three values in the given formula. Then you will get the answer. It's very easy. So tension T is equal to mass is 100 into G is 9.8 plus acceleration is 2. So 100 into 9 plus 2, 11.8. 11.8 into 100 is equal to 1180, and the Newton is the unit of tension. It's equal to the force. Okay, so answer is 1180 Newton. So which is the correct option? Option B is the correct one. Clear? Our next question is, for uniformly accelerated motion, the velocity time graph is parabolic or decreases and then increases, or is it straight line, or is it curve? It's a very simple question related to the graph of velocity time graph. Okay, we know what is acceleration. What is acceleration? We know the acceleration is rate of change of velocity, and it is asked to you uniformly accelerated. That means the acceleration A is constant. Okay, A is constant. So rate of change of A is equal to dv by dt. So dv by dt is constant. Okay. So change of velocity with time is constant. If we draw the velocity time graph, we will take velocity in the x-axis and time in the x-axis and velocity in the y-axis. The what type of graph we will get? This type of, okay, change of velocity with time. Okay, each and every case we will get a constant acceleration, uniform acceleration. So what is the answer? J, straight line. Okay, uniformly accelerated, that means acceleration is constant. So rate of change of velocity with time is also constant. So we will get a straight line. Okay, when the acceleration is constant. Okay, when the acceleration is constant, this type of graph, a straight line, I am drawing here starting from origin. That means initial velocity is starting from 0. Initial velocity is 0 here. If it is initial velocity is not 0, we will get a normal straight line which is not started from origin. I am drawing here started from origin. That indicates that the initial velocity is 0. Okay. If it is asked to you with an increasing acceleration, what type of graph we will get? If it is asked to you increased acceleration, then the velocity time in graph is like this, like a curve. Okay, decreased acceleration, that means the retardation or decreased acceleration. The velocity diagram will like this. Okay, this is the graph for increased acceleration and this is the decreased acceleration. Okay, sometimes it asks to you constant retardation, uniformly accelerated, It is asked to you. Sometimes it asks to you constant retardation. A body will move with constant retardation. Then what will be the graph for the velocity time? Constant retardation. So what will be the graph? Like this. Okay. Here the velocity time graph is like this, a straight line. It is the graph for uniformly accelerated. Uniformly accelerated, then this is the graph. Okay. Constant retardation means this. Constant retardation starting from initial velocity 0, then this. This is the graph of constant retardation. This is also the constant retardation, but it is starting from initial velocity 0. Which graph, straight line graph, is starting from origin? That means the initial velocity is 0. Both the graph are constant retardation, but here it has some initial velocity, but here the initial velocity is 0. Okay, clear? So these are the different graphs. If it is asked you moving with constant velocity, then what is the velocity time graph? Velocity time graph for constant velocity. Velocity is the time. So what will be the change of velocity is constant. So it is a straight line parallel to x-axis. Constant velocity remains at 2 seconds. If it is the 2 seconds, what is the velocity we are getting? At 5 seconds, the same velocity we are getting. At 10 seconds, we are getting same velocity. So this is the graph for the constant velocity. But here, if you take this is the 2 seconds, this is the 5 seconds, this is the 10 seconds. What the velocity we are getting? The second case, the velocity is increasing in some time duration. What the change in velocity we are getting? At the second change time duration, we are getting same increment in the velocity. So change of velocity with time is constant. Change of velocity. I am asking change of velocity. That means change of velocity means it is acceleration, but it is constant velocity. Then it is straight line. Okay. It is increased acceleration. Acceleration is changed here. Here acceleration is constant. For this graph, acceleration is constant, but velocity change is same. Okay. Change of velocity is uniform. Acceleration is uniform. For increased acceleration, it will be like a curve. Okay. Decreased acceleration, this retardation, straight line moving downward, straight line moving upward. Starting from origin, that means the initial velocity is 0. Keep these things in mind. Okay. Thank you. Our next question is, a charge Q is placed at the center of the open end of cylindrical vessel. The flux of the electric field through the surface of vessel is. Okay, so to solve this question, you should have the idea of Gauss theorem. What Gauss theorem describes us? Gauss theorem describes us the total electric flux linked with any surface is equal to the 1 by epsilon times of the total charge enclosed by the surface. Okay, I am writing here so that you can. What Gauss theorem explains us? The total flux over any closed surface is 1 by epsilon times of the total charge linked, total charge enclosed the total flux over the any closed surface is 1 by epsilon times of the total charge enclosed by the surface. Okay, so we know what is electric flux. Phi E electric flux is equal to sum of the total charge summation of Q divided by epsilon time, 1 by epsilon times of total charge. That means 1 by epsilon times of total charge. That means it is summation of Q divided by epsilon naught. Okay. If it is asked to find the total flux, if charge Q is placed at the center of a cube is given to you. And it is asked to you, a charge Q is placed at the center of the cube, then what is the total flux linked with the cube? The total flux linked with the cube is equal to, what is the total amount of charge? The total amount of charge is Q divided by epsilon times, Q by epsilon times. But when it is asked to you total flux linked with one of its surface, one of its face, so how many faces are there for cube? 6 faces are there, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So 1 by 6 times, out of 6 faces we will take 1 face, out of 6 faces we will take 1 face, 1 face out of 6 faces, so 1 by 6 times of Q by epsilon naught, which is Q by 6 epsilon naught. Okay, this explains the Gauss theorem. Okay, all are clear? The total flux over any closed surface is 1 by epsilon times of the total charge. Okay, total charge enclosed by the surface. सरफेस जितना चार्ज को एनक्लोज किया है, द टोटल चार्ज डिवाइडेड बाय एप्सिलॉन टाइम्स. ओके, we will take a sphere, hollow sphere, and Q is charge is there, one surface is there, so one surface is there, so the total flux linked with this hollow sphere is equal to the Q by epsilon naught. Okay, now we will come to our question. Something different is asked to you here. A charge Q is placed at the center of open end of cylindrical vessel. If it is a closed end cylindrical vessel, if it is a closed one, then that at the center Q charge is there. The total flux linked with the cylinder is equal to Q by epsilon naught according to the Gauss theorem, if it is a closed one. But here it is asked to you, it is a open ended. If it is asked to you, it is a closed ended cylindrical cylinder. Okay, so what is the closed end? It is a completely closed cylinder. This surface is closed, this surface is closed, it is a closed cylinder and Q charge is there. Then the flux link phi E is equal to Q by epsilon naught according to the Gauss theorem. Okay, but here it is asked to you, it is a open-ended cylindrical vessel. That means this is the base, it is the closed surface, but this surface is open. It is the open-ended cylinder, and charge Q is there at the center of the cylinder. Then what is the flux of the electric field through the surface of the vessel? It is asked to you. So I already explained to you, when the cylinder is a closed one, when the cylinder is a closed one, both the surface is closed and Q charge is given to you. Close-ended cylinder, then phi E is equal to Q by epsilon naught. We discussed according to the Gauss theorem. Okay. So now to come to our question. So open-ended cylinder is given to you. You cannot apply the Gauss theorem. So you should have to close it. How will you close it? How will you close? Just take a similar open-ended cylinder. It is given to you. One is given. It is given. We will take another same cylinder. Okay, we will take same cylinder and put it above here. Just put it. Join. Okay. Just take another cylinder. You take the second cylinder. Okay, you take another cylinder and put it above it. Now it is a completely closed cylinder. Yes or no? Let us think that the flux linked with this is phi E1 and flux linked with this phi E2. And what is the total flux linked with the system? What is the total flux? Total flux you take phi E is equal to Q by epsilon naught, because it is a now the total flux is the total flux linked with the system, the total system. First ये पहले क्या था, ओपन एंडेड था, बट मैं बना दिया उसको क्लोज एंडेड. ओके, सो नाउ इट इज ए कंप्लीट क्लोज एंडेड सिलेंडर. ओके, so total flux linked with the according to the Gauss theorem, total flux is Q by epsilon naught. Okay, so ये जो total flux, the total flux we are getting phi E, it is the sum of phi E1 and phi E2. The total flux linked with the one surface and second surface. Yes or no? So phi E1 plus phi E2 is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Yes or no? And both 1 and 2 are same. It is asked to take a similar open-ended cylinder on the top of it. I joined here. Okay, it is an open-ended cylinder, but I am joined here. Okay, I am joined here. So यहाँ पर लिखा हुआ है ओपन एंडेड, तो ऐसे मत सोचना कि ये ओपन लिखे थे और ये क्लोज कैसे हो गया. So I am taken an another cylinder. Okay, so the total flux phi E is the sum of the flux linked with the vessel 1 and the total flux linked with the vessel 2, sum of, and both have the same electric flux because it is the vessel 1 and vessel 2 are similar. So the flux linked with the vessel 1 is equal to the flux linked with the vessel 2. Phi E1 is equal to phi E2, as both are similar. So both are same. So in the place of phi E2, I can take phi E1. As both are similar, you can take phi E1 is equal to 2Q by epsilon naught. So 2 phi E1 is equal to Q by epsilon naught. So phi E1 is equal to Q by epsilon 2. यहाँ पर the 2 is multiplied here. When we move to the right hand side, it will be divided. So Q by 2 epsilon naught. So phi E1, what is phi E1? Phi 1 is the electric flux linked with the open-ended only, open-ended vessel. What is asked to you? only phi E1 is, this is the phi E1, and here we are getting phi E2. Okay, so what is asked to you? The flux of electric field through the surface of the vessel, open ended vessel के लिए पूछा था. It is asked to you for the open ended vessel. So the electric flux linked with the open ended cylinder is phi E1. It is the total flux linked with the total system. टोटल ये जो दोनों वेसल ओपन एंडेड वेसल को मिला के जो बनाया था उसका इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स था Q बाई एप्सिलॉन नॉट, पर एक ले जाने से उसका हो जाएगा हाफ. दोनों का मिलके Q बाई एप्सिलॉन नॉट था, एक ले जाएंगे तो उसका आधा हो जाएगा ना, इट विल बी हाफ. ओके, सो इट विल बी Q बाई 2 एप्सिलॉन नॉट. सो विच वन इज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन? ऑप्शन ए इज द करेक्ट वन. क्लियर? आफ्टर ज्वाइनिंग, ओके, ये ओपन एंडेड था, सिमिलर अनदर एक और एक ओपन एंडेड लाके ऊपर रख देने से ये बन गया क्लोज एंडेड सिलेंडर जैसा. तो क्लोज एंडेड सिलेंडर के लिए गॉस थ्योरम के अकॉर्डिंग टू द गॉस थ्योरम व्हाट इज द फ्लक्स, इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स लिंक्ड विथ द सरफेस इज Q एप्सिलॉन नॉट. तो ओ हो गया, उसके बाद हम उसको फिर से आधा कर देंगे तो हाफ हो गया. क्लियर? If capital is coefficient of elasticity and rho is the density of the medium, then the velocity v of sound waves is given by the relation. It is a direct formula, so no need of any explanation. If you will go for the derivation of the formula, then it will take lots of time. So directly we know the velocity of the longitudinal velocity of the sound wave, longitudinal sound wave, v is equal to E by rho square root. So you can write this as E by rho power half. So option A is the correct answer. Okay, and similar way the velocity of the transverse wave, velocity of transverse wave you can write small v is equal to eta, rigidity of modulus. Okay, it is the coefficient of elasticity and it is the rigidity modulus by rho root, or you can write like this, eta divided by rho power half. Okay, and Newton's theorem is there, he made the some changes in this formula. In the class of sound I will describe all these things. Okay, so for this question answer discussion session, just remember the formula. The velocity of the sound wave is E by rho power half. E is the coefficient of elasticity and rho is the density of the medium. Clear? And the velocity of the transverse wave v is equal to eta by rho. Eta is the rigidity of modulus. Rigidity modulus. Elasticity 3 modulus are there. It is the rigidity modulus. Modulus of rigidity or modulus of rigidity or rigidity modulus. Okay, modulus of rigidity. Okay, and rho is the density, you know. Okay, we'll go for the next question. Our next question is a wave that consists of crest and troughs and the particles of the medium vibrate at right angles to the direction of propagation of the wave is pulse wave or longitudinal wave or transverse wave and tsunami wave. This is the directly definition of transverse wave. We know what is transverse wave, and transverse wave is the wave in which the particles of the medium vibrates at a right angle to the direction of propagation, and when the particles vibrate along the same direction of the propagation of the wave, then it is longitudinal wave. Okay, so which is the correct answer? Transverse wave is the correct answer, because if you draw the wave line, what you will get? You will create like this. Okay, these are called crest, these are called crest, and these are called troughs. Okay, and here the particles vibrate along the right angle to the direction of propagation. This is the direction of the propagation, and the particle will vibrate along this direction, right angle. Okay, so particles will vibrate right angle to the right angle to the direction of propagation. Okay, so it is the characteristic property of the transverse wave. And when the particles vibrate along the direction of propagation wave, then it is the longitudinal wave. Clear? Next question is, a wire has a resistance of 12 ohm. It is bent in the form of a equilateral triangle. The effective resistance between any two corners of the triangle is. Okay. So first, a wire is given to you which has a resistance of 12 ohm, and it is bent in the form of an equilateral triangle. So just to divide it into 3 parts, and I created a, so let resistance, the total resistance of the wire is 12 ohm. Okay, and this wire is bent to form an equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangle means it will be like this, and the is equilateral. What is the meaning of equilateral triangle? The meaning of equilateral triangle is all 3 sides have same length. That means the wire is divided into equal 3 pieces. If you will divide it in equal 3 pieces, the length of the resistance depends upon the length. So length is equally divided into 3 parts, then the resistance will be equally divided into 3 parts. So when 12 is divided into 3 parts, what will you get? 4, 4, 4. So the resistance of this part is 4 ohm, resistance of this part is 4 ohm, resistance is of this part is 4 ohm, and each part is bended to form like this. Now the wire is bent and made to form a equilateral triangle. Okay, now the resistance of this side is 4 ohm, resistance of this side is 4 ohm, resistance of this side is 4 ohm. Okay, and now it is asked to you the effective resistance, to calculate the effective resistance between any two corners. So just this corner and this corner. What is the effective? That means the total resistance. So it is the wire has the total resistance 12. So when it is divided into equal 3 parts, each part having the resistance 4 ohm. Let take this resistance is R1, this is R2, and this is R3. Okay, R1, R2 and R3. If you will observe these two resistors R1 and R2 is connected in series connection. What is series connection? When one end of the one resistor is connected to the another end of the resistor, then it is series connection. When all the ends of the, okay, like this is one resistor R1, and this is another resistor R2, this is another resistor R3. When one end of the first resistor is connected to the another end of the second resistor, and the end of the second resistor is connected to the end of another end of the third resistor, then it is series connection. Okay, if 3 resistance is given to you, this is R1, R2, R3, all the 3 ends connected to one wire, and another all 3 sides are connected to the other side, then it is parallel connection. Okay, if all the ends of resistors connected to the single wire and all the 3 ends connected to the another side, then it is parallel connection. This is the series connection and this is the parallel connection. Okay, so here if you will observe, you can get that R1 and R2, one end of the R1 is connected to the another end of the R2. So R1 and R2 are in series connection. So when the resistance are series connection, what is the total resistance, effective resistance. The total resistance in series connection, remember, R is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3 plus dot dot dot. How many resistance are given to you? You should have to add all the resistance. Okay, this is the formula for the series connection. This is the formula for the series connection. As here only two resistors R1 and R2 are connected in series connection, so the effective resistance, just take the effective resistance of R1 and R2. Effective resistance of R1 and R2, you take it as RS. You take it as RS. RS is equal to R1 plus R2. Okay, as it is a series connection, you should have to add, it is the formula, you should have to add all the constitutive resistance of the resistors to find the effective resistance in case of series connection. So what is the value of R1? R1 is 4, R2 is 4, so 4 plus 4, 8 ohm. So RS, the effective resistance of R1 and R2, we are getting 8 ohm. Now these two resistance are converted to a single resistor. Now R1 and R2 added, they are connected series connection, so they are converted to a effective resistance. So now take this resistance, two resistor as a single resistor, R1 R2 मिलके एक resistor बना लिए. ओके, जिसका resistance है 8 ohm. Okay, both R1 and R2 combined series connection, combined with series connection to make a single resistor which is 8 ohm. Now R3 is at the bottom part. Now R3 is there, and if you will go for the two corners, you will find that the end of the it is RS is equal to 8 ohm. If you will observe, you will find that one end of the RS, this R1 and R2 combined to form RS. Okay, and R3 is at the bottom part. Now you will observe, you will find that RS and R3, the one end of RS and the same end of R3 is connected to a single wire, and another end of RS and R3 are connected to a single wire. To get the two corners, we will find the two corner. It is asked to you, find any two corner of the triangle. To get this two corner, you have to form like this. So what you found? We found that the RS and R3 are connected in parallel. So when some resistors, so RS and R3 in parallel connection. Are in parallel connection, and when the resistances are in parallel connection, then what is the effective resistance? The effective resistance is equal to 1 R1 plus 1 R2. We have to add the reciprocals. This is the formula for the parallel connection. This is the formula for the series connection, and this is the formula for the parallel connection. As RS and R3 are connected in parallel connection, so the effective resistance 1 by RE, take it as RE 1 by RE means it is the effective resistance. We are finding और कुछ resistance है कि नहीं, हमको ये पूरा जो पूछा था corner वाला अब मिल जाएगा हमको, क्योंकि उसके बाद और कुछ नहीं है. Okay, so 1 by RE, the effective resistance is equal to 1 by RS plus 1 by R3. So which is 1 by RS, what is the value of RS? Is 8, plus 1 by R3, what is the value of R3? Is 4. Just take the LCM, we will get 8, 1 plus 2. LCM 8 divided by 8, 1 into 1, 1, 8 divided by 4 is equal to 2, 2 into 1, 2. So we are getting 3 by 8. आंसर मिल गया. मैक्सिमम स्टूडेंट विल चूज द आंसर ऑप्शन बी. देन यू विल गेट -0.25 mark. Negative mark will be added to you because our solution is not completed here. It is the value of 1 by RE. Maximum student will choose the. उस वक्त क्या रहता है ना, हड़बड़ी में वो जो भी आंसर मिलेगा वो डाल देंगे. कंप्यूटर में क्लिक कर देने से हाँ हो गया हमारा आंसर, पर जब रिजल्ट आएगा ना उस वक्त तुमको मार्क मिलेगा -0.25. ओके, so carefully keep it mind. You have to, here your solution is not completed, you have to go one step ahead. What is that? If 1 by RE is equal to 3 by 8 ohm, what is the value of RE? The value of RE, the reciprocal of RE is 3 by 8. So RE is, you have to take the reciprocal of this, so 8 by 3 ohm. So RE is equal to 8 by 3 ohm. The effective resistance is 8 by 3 ohm. So which one is the correct answer? Option C is the correct answer. If we choose option B. Next question is, when white light passes through a prism, it gets split up into constituent 7 colors. We know it is called, okay, dispersion of white light. Okay, and the color which gets deviated most is, it is a direct question, blue, red, yellow or violet? Answer is violet. Without doing anything you can choose the, because in the picture in your book and textbook we get the picture like this. When a white light fall on the prism, it constituents color, 7 constituent color. So writing like this, yes or no? In your book you have the picture like this, yes or no? So simply, which deviates most? You are having, if it is a prism, you are having pictures like in your book, like this in your book. So from this picture what you are finding, what you are getting, which light deviates most? The violet. Always when you will go to the picture, just observe that it is written from the downward. Violet to red, it is downward from down to upward, not like this VIBGUR. It is not written like this. It is written like VIBGYOR, from down to upward. So which light ray deviates most? The answer is violet. Okay, direct the answer is violet. You will say no sir, I need a proper explanation. So what is the proper explanation for this? You all know that the red light, okay, the wavelength of the red light lambda r is maximum. Lambda is the wavelength, you all know, lambda is the wavelength. Okay, so wavelength for the red light is greater than the wavelength of violet. So in the night, if you will torch a red laser light, it will go for a long distance. Red light has a long wavelength. Okay, so the train signals are made in, danger signals are made in red light. Why? Because a observer can observe it from a long distance, because red light has a long wavelength and violet has the less wavelength. It cannot be visible to a long length as compared to the red. Okay, if you will compare red and violet, if you will torch two red and violet light, and you will observe from a distance, you can observe the red light clearly but not the violet light. Why? Because the wavelength of the red is greater than that of the wavelength of a violet light. Okay, lambda r is greater than the lambda v. And the Cauchy's formula, if you know it or not, then just remember, in our chapter of optics we have a formula, it is called Cauchy's formula, which gives the refractive index mu is equal to a plus b by lambda square plus c by lambda cube plus dot dot dot, where a, b, c are the constant. It is the Cauchy's formula. Okay, refractive, mu is the refractive index, You know what is refractive index? Okay, these minimum things you should have to know, otherwise you cannot do these problems. Okay, you are appearing for the high school contractual teacher, that means you should have this minimum knowledge, otherwise you cannot. Okay, so mu is the refractive index of the material medium. So mu is equal to A plus B lambda square plus C by lambda cube. So if you will observe the formula, you can derive the relation between the refractive and mu is inversely proportional to the 1 by lambda square. Yes or no? If you will observe, what you are finding, lambda square varies. This lambda 4 square factor varies. It varies like square factor. So mu inversely proportional to square factor variation. So mu is inversely proportional to 1 by lambda square. So inversely proportional means, I explained in my previous videos, what is the meaning of inversely proportional? When one factor increases, the other factor decreases. When one factor decreases, the other factor increases. So the mu and lambda are inversely proportional. So when lambda is more, mu is less, and when lambda is less, mu is more. So lambda is more for red and less for violet. So mu will be, in case of mu, what will happen? It will be reversed. It will be reversed. Okay, it will be reversed. So mu R and mu V, what will be the relation? As lambda and mu are inversely proportional, so in case of mu, it will be changed inverse proportional. If it will be direct proportional, then we will put the same sign. As it is there inversely proportional, if one will decrease, then other will increase. If one will increase, then other will decrease. So it will be changed. So lambda is greater for red, less for minimum for B, but mu is minimum for R and maximum for B, that means violet. Clear? You got this one. Now we will go for prism formula. You know prism formula? What is prism formula? A prism formula is the refractive index mu is equal to sin A plus del by 2 sin A by 2. Yes or no? A is the angle of prism, and del is the minimum deviation. Okay, del is the minimum deviation. And for small angle, if we take a small angle of, for small angle A, if A is small, if angle of prism is small, then you can write like, for small angle, you can write the mu is directly proportional to del. Okay, mu is directly proportional to del. From this formula, you can, for small angle A, you can derive the relation that mu, the refractive index mu, directly proportional to del. So if directly proportional to del, then I already explained to you, when it is direct proportional, same sign we will put for both of them. If one will increase, then second will also increase. If one will decrease, the second will also decrease. So mu is maximum for R, mu is minimum for R and maximum for violet. So mu and del are, del is the deviation, and it is del is the deviation. So del R and del V, what is the relation? Del V and del R. Thus as mu and del are directly proportional, so the same sign we will put the same sign. So del R is minimum, del V is maximum. Del is the deviation, so deviation is maximum for, it is asked to you in the question na, which gets deviate most? Deviate most means del is maximum. डेविएट मोस्ट पूछा है, मतलब उसका मतलब क्या है, डेल इज मैक्सिमम. सो डेल इज मैक्सिमम फॉर रेड और वायलेट. इट इज रेड, sorry, it is violet, and the deviation will decrease up to r. Okay, when we will move from violet to red, the deviation will be decreased. Okay, minimum for r red light, the deviation is minimum for red light and maximum for violet light. Similarly, refracting index is minimum for red light, maximum for violet light. But lambda, the wavelength for the red light is maximum, and the wavelength for the violet is minimum. Okay, these are all the relation you should have to remember, because in this CST, if it is asked for the deviation, it may be for the next CST, it may be asked for you for the refractive index, for which light the refractive index is maximum, answer is violet. For which light ray the wavelength is maximum, for the red light the wavelength is maximum. Okay, you have to remember all these relations. Okay, for today this much. Okay, if I will just say the answer and I will go for the next question, then I can cover all the questions of one shift in a single video, but I am explaining the related things with that questions, because the same question we will not ask in the next CST. In the next CST, the question may come from different way. So I am explaining all the related things with that questions, so it takes lots of time for me. Okay, so in 3 part we will cover all the questions. Okay, give me more one part. Okay, in 3 part I will cover all the physics questions. Okay, as I am explaining all these things, so it takes lots of time, but thank you for listening, thank you for watching. Have a nice day, take care, keep preparation, bye bye.